Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I am your guest host, Laurabel, and I'm so glad to be back with you all this evening. We're going to be sitting down today and having a wonderful conversation about tech in our province. We'll be joined by two amazing guests, Gillian Mensah and Blaine Edwards. So sit back, relax, and feel free to get out your phone since we're dealing with tech, and we'll be right back after this message.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Venus and Serena gonna shake up this world.
I think you might just have the next Michael Jordan.
Oh no, brother man. I got me the next two.
Hey, how can I help you?
It's me, Sophie. There's people in the house.
Just stay calm. We need to get you to the basement and wait for the cops.
Is there anything in my way?
Wait, Sophie, wait!
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
And welcome back, everyone. I am joined by Ms. Jillian Mensah, software developer and digital content creator with Verafin. Jillian, thank you for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
So Jillian, do you mind telling, I guess, a little bit about who you are and how you got started in tech?
So I'm Gillian. I'm from West Africa, Ghana to be specific. I moved to St. John's, Newfoundland 9 years ago to go to Memorial University. I originally got an admission to do geography, and then when I got here, I quickly realized that it was too easy for me. Nothing on geography students, but it was just a walk in the park, and I just needed something that was more challenging. So at the time, all my friends were doing engineering, so I decided to go and do engineering. But because I didn't have any science background, which is physics, chemistry, and the rest, it was quite tough for me because it was just hectic. I think university level science is just a bit higher. But I had to do one course in engineering that was like what's it called, basic level programming. Mm-hmm. And then I did that and I fell in love with it. I remember being in the class and I was so excited. It was so fun. It was challenging. You were thinking about things. And it was a different language. It was like learning Russian or Spanish or something else. So I really was intrigued by that. So I decided to change my major to computer science, and that was history, and I got into this industry.
So it was basically love at first sight with tech.
Yes, it was exactly that.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear. So the tech industry is usually seen as a male-dominated industry. So what is it like for you as a woman, especially as a Black woman, now in that field?
It's funny because one of the reasons why I never thought about tech was because in Ghana, you mostly see people that are in that industry, either men or really old women. And even those old women were not software developers, they were just the management of it. So it was never a thing that I thought of at all. If I wanted to be something anyways, I wanted to be a pilot, a doctor, or an engineer. So when I came here and I realized that, especially the class that I was in, there were so many women in that class. So that was one of the things that tickled me to just be curious about what was going on. But I would say this, it's the biggest myth ever to think that just men can do or be in tech. I just really was interested and just went for it, and that was it. I wholeheartedly can say it is not a thing for male or female, it's for everybody. If you want to do it, you can do it. It's just like any field. If you really put your mind to it, you can definitely do it. So yeah, if you're listening and you're a woman and you want to go for tech, please go. Don't let anyone stop you.
So tech is being touted as the next big boom for Newfoundland Labrador as the oil industry begins to phase out. So what do you see as the future of tech in our province?
I get so excited about this because when I came to Newfoundland, it was all about oil and gas. If you were not coming to school to pursue a degree to do that, you were not going to succeed. And the narrative here was you finish school, whatever degree you have, you get out to Toronto, Ottawa, whatever province you want to go to, and then work there to get money or stay alive in the country. But quickly, when we saw the industry go down, and I think it's going to come back again, just saying, but when we saw the industry slowly fading away, there were a lot of companies that were sprouting up. There was a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes, but it was just that attention was not being paid to it. We knew oil and gas, so everybody focused on that. But I think Newfoundland had a real quick way of focusing on what else was going on in the background, and tech became it. I think it's the next boom thing here, but I'm very intrigued to see how Newfoundland and Labrador will be able to fuse those two sectors together. I always tell people you don't need to leave your career to pursue tech. Think of how best you can incorporate whatever that is going on to what you already have. If the next big thing is technology, how best can I incorporate technology into my oil and gas sector? So there are so many people that are looking to change careers or are looking to go to school to do something different. No, how best can I incorporate whatever I have to what is going on or what's new? I would just charge the province that instead of us focusing solely on tech, let's try and incorporate more sectors together, because we don't want to be where we were years back now, where we come to a place where we say, okay, tech is not a thing anymore. What else can we focus on? If we are able to just merge those two sectors together, we'll only not have tech being the boom thing, we'll have maybe a new thing that we create here where tech and oil and gas just works beautiful. I know there's some things that oil, the drilling of oil needs technology in that, but how best can we make it much more fusible and just make the two sectors just work hand in hand? But yes, I think it's the next big thing coming up. So yeah, it is now. So yeah.
So with youth who are interested in tech and STEM and all of that, what do you think is a great first step? So for the kids out there who might be listening or watching this with their parents, if they said, hey, I want to get into tech, I want to be a software programmer or a digital content creator, where do they start?
I'm going to make a statement. I'm not saying school is not good, but I don't think you need to go to university or have a degree to get into the tech field. There's so much that the tech field offers that you really don't need a university degree. And I'm going to give a shout out to my people at Get Coding. Get Coding is I won't call it an academy, it's not a boot camp. It's a group of people. So what they've done is that they've taken people from the industry in various sectors in the tech field to teach people that want to get into tech. If you are somebody that is listening, that's a good thing for you to do. If you're in Newfoundland and Labrador, look them up. You'll be able to learn new skills, which helps you to get into the industry. I don't think you need a degree. Even though I have a degree, I don't think you need a degree. There's a lot of courses online. I don't subscribe to that because self-taught things can be very difficult to get through unless you are somebody who is very enthusiastic about whatever you're doing. You can do some courses online, or you can go to university and get a degree to be in this. I know Kona offers short courses, even Academy Canada. There's some many little places here that will you be able to get some sort of education to get, but you can still self-teach yourself. It's very possible to do that. I am currently learning a lot of new things and I'm teaching myself to do it. But I don't think you need a degree to be in the field. But school is also good. Let's just say that.
So what's one thing going on in the province with the tech industry that you're really excited about?
First of all, I think it's just the sprout of all these new companies that are coming up. They are not new, but most of them have been around, but we're all getting to hear about them. I just get excited when I hear new names and it's all tech companies. But the other thing too is I was the recent recipient of a program that Association of New Canadians are bringing up, making me build a curriculum to help new immigrants integrate properly. I think it's just putting together a structure, a course to give kids an idea of what it means to be in tech, an idea of even is there an interest for me to pursue a computer science course in university. And I applaud the Associations for New Canadians for doing that. I think it's a step forward. I think it's a good thing for immigrants to come to see that, yes, there's something for me to do here, and just to give them an idea of what is going on. And also my coaching with Get Coding. It's just so nice to see a plumber trying to add new skills to themselves to get into the field. I find that is very interesting, and then I think there's exciting things happening in the province. There's so much we can do. There's so much we're doing, and again, Verafin does so much already. I know everybody knows the buzz around town. I'm not going to speak much about it, but there's so much going on, and I'm excited for the future of tech in Newfoundland.
So I really appreciate you taking the time. And was there any last thing you'd like to share with our audience where it comes to the industry or tech or just the future of what that looks like for our province?
Not to say it's that we get in there, but I want to one day sit in a meeting or in a boardroom where there's so many women on the table. I'm tired of being one of the only women on the table. I'm tired of being in a meeting and there's so many men. I want us to flood the industry, not just in the developer side of it, but in all the industries, in all the sectors in the tech part of the industry. So if you're a woman, it is possible. Trust me, it's one of the easiest things that I have done. And there's so many possibilities and endless things you can do in this field. Look for a course you want to do, get yourself learning each day, try to do something, because I feel like once you're in tech, it gives you the opportunity to do so much more. It is possible. You can do it. Like, I can't even stress it. I'm setting out this year to coach a lot of women to even build the confidence and know that, yes, this is what I want to do. So you can find me on LinkedIn. If you do, we'll form a group and then we'll go with that. But it is possible for you to do it. Women, let's flood the industry and let's see more women on the table. It's as simple as that.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to sit down and talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back.
It all started when I racked up some serious debt. Interest payments were going up, creditors were calling. Janes and Noseworthy came up with a plan. Knowing that the phone was going to stop ringing and that I was not in this alone was a huge relief. Bankruptcy or a consumer proposal or whatever help you get is not the end. It's just the beginning. A chance to start again with knowledge and support and people in your corner. Are you ready? Get out of debt. It's okay.
Learn more about Leah's story at janesnoseworthy.ca.
It was our 35th anniversary. To celebrate, we were on our way to Mama Rosie's, where we had our first date. That's when we heard coming from the radio. So we stopped and listened. It helped us get to safety. So when I think of our anniversary, because now we have even more to celebrate.
And welcome back, everyone. I am joined now by Mr. Blaine Edwards, entrepreneur in residence at Bounce Innovative Health. Blaine, thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
So do you mind telling our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, my name is Blaine Edwards, entrepreneur in residence at Bounce Health Innovation. The job mostly includes mentoring and assisting early stage and mid stage companies in the health sector through the journey of entrepreneurship. So what that is really depends on a lot of factors about who the individual is and how much experience they have and what their idea is.
So we know tech is being touted as the next big boom for Newfoundland and Labrador. Now, how does that play into what you do?
Right. So tech is booming by any metric, really, in terms of the amount of startups that we see, the nature of their ideas and the complexity of the problems that they're solving is getting better. The solutions are getting better. There's more enrollment into training programs that the ecosystem offers that I'll talk a bit in a little while. And then the success rate. That's measured by employment, the diversity of employment in terms of the roles and the individuals, and investment and employment that comes from that.
So where do youth fit in when it comes to that?
Right. So tech is still growing. Everyone anticipates that it will continue to grow because, let's face it, technology is a part of all of our lives. So you can't have a future of tech without future people to be in it and find those innovations and help those ideas grow from the small seeds to the strong trees that we want them to be. So TechNL is the industry association responsible for the tech industry in this province. And one of their main objectives is talent development. So the identification and the training of individuals that have a spark, that have an idea, or want to help support entrepreneurship and startups in the industry.
Okay, so let's say you're a youth out there and you've decided, hey, I want to get into tech. What's the first step?
Well, I think the first step they've already made is making the decision to jump into it. Because, you know, we've all been high school students who didn't know what they wanted to do. I guess the first is to understand what tech is. And it's just not coders or developers. I mean, the infrastructure and the people that need to support successful tech ventures are, you know, business development, business admin, artists, graphic designers, thinkers, you know, so it's such a broad spectrum of people need it. So understand that it's not limited by the role, so it's not just all techie people.
Yeah.
Understand that it's not limited by geography anymore.
Okay.
We have a lot of interns and startups that are coming from rural parts of the province, not just urban.
Oh, wow.
And it's not even limited to people in Newfoundland and Labrador, Atlantic Canada, Canada.
Oh, cool.
We have people engaged in our ecosystem from Nigeria, from Iran, China, so around the world that are taking part of the programs here.
So that's fantastic. So we're no longer geographically bound by, let's say, just St. John's. Anyone within Newfoundland and Labrador can access and be involved in the industry.
Yeah, and so where Bounce Health Innovation fits in is that we've realized that our sector is health specific.
Yes.
So we've identified that there's a lot of improvements, a lot of problems, and therefore a lot of potential solutions in healthcare. We have an advantage in Newfoundland and Labrador because we are much smaller than other major jurisdictions. We have just a much fewer number of major hospitals. We have fewer regional health authorities. We have the ability for companies and ideas, entrepreneurs, researchers, innovators to test out an idea very quickly.
Okay. So that's super cool. So what are we doing now as an industry to make tech more accessible for minority youth who might not have had that first experience the way others might have?
So we have a number of outreach programs. They go all the way down to high school, all the way up through postdoc at universities. So we, number one, have a number of different internship programs where new students or international students can come complete internships at early stage companies. We also encourage them to become entrepreneurs themselves.
Oh, and so if they were looking to get into that, would they be reaching out to TechNL for that kind of support? Or is that where their first step would be?
Yeah, so we see a lot of budding entrepreneurs will reach out to TechNL first to get a sort of roadmap of all the programs that are out there. So you can imagine there's a lot of different types of technology. You know, there's financial technology, there's health technology, software, hardware. So it can be a bit overwhelming. And so TechNL is a great place to go to. The Genesis Center of Memorial University, the Memorial Center of Entrepreneurship at Memorial University is great for a lot of international students that are just trying to find their way through the ecosystem. And then if someone has an idea that is related to the health sector, that could be either an actual device, or it could be a technology or something squishy science like a drug or some kind of a chemical process, then Bounce Health Innovation would be a good resource directly.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'm a mom, so I have a little toddler who has taken my phone and run off with it one too many times. So when we're talking about getting super young youth into tech and making it more accessible, is there programs that currently exist in the system right now, or are we still a little ways behind for that?
So I guess it's really about trying to fill the need before it really becomes a detriment to growth to the industry. And so we're seeing the programs that are starting out now that are bringing in youth into the system or in the cycle exist now, but have only really gotten off the ground over the past few years. So I think that we're going to continue to see them to grow both in their scope and their popularity and in their impact over the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, that's fantastic. So we know in Newfoundland and Labrador, geography has always been an issue for a lot of people when they're looking into getting into any industry. With tech being something that's remote, how best can people support that industry and get into it without feeling the constraints of geographic regions?
Yeah, I mean, that's a timely question, especially with the pandemic that's going on now, where everyone's kind of rethinking what work is and rethinking how we engage. I suppose the benefit of the ecosystem in St. John's is that the tech ecosystem broadly is very supportive and very connected. So CEOs of million-dollar companies are accessible to interns who have questions for them. Coffee shops, when they can be full, are full. People remote work together. So even though people may not work in the same company, they share a lot of the same problems. And because the ecosystem is there to support everyone, taking advantage of that ecosystem is really impactful.
So when we dream big and think about the future of tech and the future of our province, what are you liking to see? What would you want to see happen?
I think the exciting part about envisioning the future of tech is that it's in the minds of, teenagers right now. Yeah. The future of technology has changed so many times over the past 50 years. I mean, think about what our grandparents grew up with compared to what's available now. I think, in 10 years, we'll have the same kind of shock and awe at the ideas and the innovations that are locked in the brains of youth that we need to encourage at every opportunity, because really that's what helps the progression, not just of the economy, but of all of our problems, really.
That's super awesome. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you or with TechNL or with Bounce Innovative Health, where is the best place for them to reach out?
Directly to our website, so it's technl.ca, Bounce Health Innovation, I believe it's there on the screen as well. Memorial Center of Entrepreneurship, all these websites, just a quick Google, you'll find lots of links. The ecosystem is very supportive, and so really all you've got to do is ping one of these organizations, and they'll make sure to put you in touch with the right person. So it's not that if you don't know if you're not sure who to reach out to, don't let that stop you, because everyone is in the same game of helping you.
That's fantastic. And if you had any advice for people watching tonight who are interested in this industry and what it has to offer, what do you want to tell them?
If you think you got a good idea, it won't develop in your head. You need to tell people about it. Everyone here is keen to help. Reach out to the ecosystem. We're here to help you succeed.
Perfect. I'd like to thank you so much for sitting down and having a chat with me. We know Newfoundland Labrador is continuing to grow and continue to change, and tech has definitely been a big supporter of connecting our communities. So it's been amazing to kind of talk about what the future of tech looks like, especially for our youth.
Let's do it.
And thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
Thank you for joining me to take a look at what the future of tech is for our province. If you are interested in finding out more about TechNL, feel free to check them out at technl.ca. Thank you so much and have a great evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Well, I was a fisherman. I fished all my life, up to a 60-year-old. And well, when I retired from fishing, I got the ground put there by a truck, made work for myself. I like that out around doing things. Get at the house, and like I say, I don't be in the house very much to my dinner and supper. You have to go while you can. I'll go on onion, beets, carrot, lettuce, and cucumber. Well, you keep them over in the cellar, we call it, root cellar. Better to have it in a root cellar. It's cool, down in the ground, cool. I knew about that all my life. My grandfather had one, my father had one. Well, first of all, I poured floor in with concrete, Then I got some second-hand building blocks. Those you do your basement with, and I put them around. Then I went and cut some logs and went to a sawmill, got it sawed, and put the house on top. That's about 15 years ago. My father had his down under the house, because he never had need a basement. My house, our house, was built on a lot of big rocks. That's the only place they'd build back then, because they want their gardens for hay. See, they had cows, they had sheep, they had horses. So the worst piece of land they had to build a house on it, like rocky land. I think it keeps the food better. I can remember when they used to go moose hunting. They back, well, I was only probably 4 or 5 years old. They would wait in the fall around Christmas or before, when you get the cold weather, and they'd get their moose and they'd hang their quarter meat out in their shed, and it wouldn't be frozen in the fridge, it'd be naturally froze, better meat. Now they won't freeze in the root cellar, right? That's insulating down the ground, it's warm down in the ground. You can feel the heat when it goes over to take the cover off to go down and get the vegetables. You can feel the heat coming up in your face. Potatoes and the onion. Well, I picked the lettuce. These corns I picked it because I only got one row there, right? So that's gone before the season is up. Apples, you bag your apples and put them over, and carrots. Only thing down the cellar, the potatoes, if you leave them through the summer, they grow what they call the root stocks, because it's warm down there, see? It gets warm. So it gets warm enough for it to grow, but it's cooler down there than it is up here, but it gets warm enough that they start to grow that's their seed, eh? Everybody here back in, before my times, everybody was a gardener and a fisherman. They used to fish and do gardens. That was what they called the good days.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us